Good morning. Cleaning up after dozens of devastating tornadoes cut through 13 states, families and communities across the country are searching through the debris and trying to put their lives back together today, Tuesday, November 12th, 2002.
From NBC News, this is Today with Katie Couric and Matt Lauer, live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
And good morning. Welcome to Today on a Tuesday morning. I'm Matt Lauer.
And I'm Katie Couric. It was a terrible line of storms, as you know, Matt. More than 70 reported tornadoes devastated towns from Louisiana to Pennsylvania. The extent of the destruction is still being assessed. We're going to go live to some of the hardest hit areas.
Then we will turn our attention to Iraq. This morning, Iraq's parliament voted unanimously to recommend to President Saddam Hussein that he reject the UN resolution calling for arms inspections. So what's the next step? We'll have an exclusive interview with the UN Secretary General Kofi Annan. And the butler is creating a royal mess. We'll find out how his allegations of activity behind palace doors have sent the British tabloids into a royal frenzy.
We'll also get the skinny on Al Roker. You've probably noticed that Al is merely a shadow of his former self. He likes it that way. He's a lean, not so mean weather reporting machine these days. Al will let us in on how he's taken off more than 100 pounds in just 8 months and why he decided to do it now. That's in our 7:30 half hour this morning. Plus Kelsey Grammer, Emma Watson of Harry Potter fame, and fasten your seatbelts, the irrepressible Robin Williams will try to sit still.
Don't be afraid.
But before we get to all that, let's begin in Tennessee, where residents are cleaning up from those devastating tornadoes. NBC's Robert Hager is there. Bob, good morning.
Morning, Matt. You know, whenever I cover a tornado, I'm just awed, maybe horrified is a better word, at the power of these things. A hurricane spreads damage over hundreds of miles, but in a tornado, it's all concentrated over a swath just a few hundred feet wide, and the winds are so much stronger than hurricane winds, and in this case, deadly, too. The toll this morning stands at 35. Through the long night, emergency crews labor to begin restoring power and communications, and to be certain there are no more victims to be found in the rubble. In daylight, the full extent of that damage can be seen. Whole communities leveled, houses splintered, cars upended, a school bus on its side. Everywhere, lives shattered. And from survivors, tales of terror.
When we went up in the air, come back down, I covered my body with my little girl because I knew we would die when we hit back down.
I don't see how we made it, but we all four got out and made it alive.
From Arkansas in the west, as far east as Pennsylvania and Virginia, more than 70 tornadoes, more than 200 other severe storms. 1 dead in Mississippi, 1 in Pennsylvania, 5 dead in Ohio, a dozen in Alabama, 16 or more in Tennessee, and 1 rescue worker in Tennessee as well. Hardest hit, Carbon Hill, Alabama, Van Wert, Ohio, and Mossy Grove, Tennessee.
It's terrible. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a war zone.
The unusual November tornadoes set off by a volatile mix of weather more typical of spring than autumn. Not 1 jet stream, but 2 racing crisscross overhead, as below cooler fall air slams up against an unusually warm spring-like air mass with temperatures in the 70s and 80s. The weather agency NOAA's Dan McCarthy.
I think it could be historic. We won't know exactly the count or the circumstances until we follow up on the damage for the next couple of days.
And also poignant moments and mementos. A hug, a lonely cat wandering through the devastation, a muddy flag, a child's doll, a Bible, and the bronzed shoes of an infant. Not much left for many here, overwhelmed by some of nature's fiercest fury. One other point, that idea of tornadoes in November, it can happen, but so many and so strong. Normally, most of tornado season is in the spring when the warm and cold air clashes are more likely. But lately, scientists have been noticing a growing tendency for a second tornado season to come around in the autumn. They're not sure what it's about. Could be climate change. In any event, they do think it's a real trend. Matt?
All right, Bob Hager in Tennessee this morning. Bob, thank you very much. It's 4 after the hour. Here's Katie.
Matt, thank you. Becky Wilson's family has an incredible and harrowing story of survival. Becky, her fiance Gene Walden, and her sons, 5-year-old Devin Walden and 15-year-old Justin Wilson, are at United Regional Medical Center in Manchester, Tennessee. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Becky, I guess you probably, good morning. I guess you can't believe that you all are sitting together and actually talking with me about this, given what you went through.
No, we're glad to be here, though.
I bet you are. Did you have any warnings, or did you hear that a tornado was approaching your home?
The one that hit us, we weren't really prepared for it. We had watched the radar, and the first 2 storms came through, and we were kind of prepared for those. We had put the boys in the closet, and then that passed, and there weren't any tornado warnings with the 3rd storm.
So you thought the worst was over, obviously, and that you were in the
more or less,
clear.
we kind of relaxed.
Then you heard something approaching, Gene, that I know that you described sounded like a train sort of barreling towards your home. Can you describe what it was like before the tornado hit, Gene?
It was quiet, and then you just knew something was wrong.
It started coming towards you, and I know that it picked up your trailer. And Becky, what happened next?
The walls started just rattling, and the wind just kept getting stronger and closer. It sounded like just getting closer. And we were running to his bedroom, my youngest son's bedroom. We were going to get in the closet. And I think we got to the bedroom, and we got the boys in there, but then it's like it just picked us up, and we were rolling. We could feel walls. We were hitting walls, and things were hitting us. And it did that a couple of times, it seemed like, and it just seemed like the house came apart around us, and we were laying on the ground.
Becky, you say it was rolling on the floor, or did the tornado actually pick up the trailer? Did you feel as if you were airborne inside at some point?
Yeah, I thought it picked us up. I thought it picked us up. It seemed like we were rolling, because it just seemed like we were doing this in the house, hitting walls.
And obviously you all were separated, and it must have been terrifying. When it was all over, you looked up and the trailer was pretty much destroyed, right?
Yeah, we were laying on the ground. One minute we were inside, and the next minute we were laying on the ground outside.
It is pretty miraculous that you all weren't more badly injured from this. Can you, Becky, tell us the extent of your injuries and of your son's injuries as well? And I know, Gene, you've got 2 big gashes on the back of your head, right?
Yes. I've got several on the back of my head, my hands, both legs, and quite a few small ones just here and there. But that's the worst ones.
Becky, what about you and your boys?
I'm bruised, beat up, scraped, scratches. I had stitches in my head and in my arm. My youngest son, he had stitches on his forehead and 2 places here and under his eye. He has a place behind his ear. He had a small skull fracture.
And what about Justin?
Justin pretty much got out better than the rest of us.
Wow, Justin, you're lucky. Meanwhile, Devin, that must have been a pretty scary thing to go through, huh? How you feeling? Are you feeling a little bit better this morning?
Yeah.
Well, we're just so glad that you all are okay. Obviously hurt, but I know you'll be just fine, and I know that's what the doctors have told you all. Becky Wilson, Gene Walden, Devin, and Justin, thank you all so much for talking with us, and feel better soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, so cute. It's 7:09 now. For the rest of the morning's news, let's go over to Ann Curry at the news desk. Ann, good morning.
I know, it is so cute. Thank you so much, Katie and Matt. Good morning, everybody. This morning in other news, Iraq's parliament voted to recommend rejecting the UN resolution on weapons inspectors. The vote was unanimous, all 250 members rejecting the resolution. The final say is now up to Saddam Hussein. NBC's Campbell Brown's at the White House. Campbell, what's the White House reaction to this vote that we're hearing from Iraq?
Well, Ann, the White House was not surprised by the outcome of the vote. Officials here have repeatedly said Saddam Hussein is a dictator. It is his decision alone. He has until Friday to accept the UN's demands. And if he rejects the resolution, the president made clear, speaking to veterans Monday, that the U.S. is prepared for war.
This great nation will not live at the mercy
of any foreign plot or power. The dictator of Iraq will fully disarm, or the United States will lead a coalition and disarm him.
Now, officials here are also saying that even if Saddam breaks with Parliament and accepts the UN resolution, they are highly skeptical that he will actually follow through and meet the requirements. If that happens, they say the president reserves the right to act alone without going back to the UN for another vote, but the U.S. has pledged to consult with the UN first. And
all right, NBC's Campbell Brown, and again, Saddam Hussein has until Friday to announce his decision. In other news, Congress begins a lame duck session today on the heels of last week's elections, and for the moment, the Democrats are still in control of the Senate. NBC's Joe Johnson is on Capitol Hill with more on this story this morning. Joe, good morning.
Good morning, Ann. It's not clear how much work will get done, but one thing is clear. Democrat Tom Daschle is set to remain Senate Majority Leader for the start of the lame duck session.
It's because of independent Dean Barkley who'll give his first Senate speech today, handpicked by Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura to serve out the term of the late Senator Paul Wellstone. Barkley was courted personally by Tom Daschle and Trent Lott, but said no to both parties last night in a written statement. I believe the best way to serve the people of Minnesota is to remain independent. For days, Republicans have downplayed the significance of Barkley's decision.
I don't want to over-exaggerate what it means one way or the other. Tom and I have talked about doing essentially the same things.
Still, Republicans won Senate control in the last election. Among the questions, how soon will they take over and how much will get done before then? Among the legislative priorities, the president is demanding a bill to create a Homeland Security Department. There's also hope for a bill to help the insurance industry in the event of future terrorism and a measure to make it harder for debtors to wipe out their bills when they file for bankruptcy. In the House, freshman members are showing up for orientation, while Democrats prepare to elect a new leader. Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi says she has enough votes, but her challenger, Harold Ford of Tennessee, wants the winner to also win back the House, or else.
And if that leader is unable to produce the majority for Democrats next time, he or she should step down.
But for now, the focus remains on the present, where there's a lot of uncertainty, even the possibility that Senate control could shift to the Republicans if the session lasts more than 1 or 2 weeks. And
NBC's Joe Johns, thank you, Joe, this morning. A California man is being held on $2 million bail this morning, accused in a series of rapes on the West Coast. Police say Mark Wayne Rathbun has been linked to 13 sexual assaults since 1996 and is a suspect in 18 more. 8 members of a Cuban family arrived Monday in the U.S., crammed into a 2-seat crop dusting plane that arrived in Key West. Immigration officials say the 4 men, 3 women, and a baby girl are expected to be released to relatives. Cuba calls their flight to freedom an act of air piracy. It is now 7:13. You're up to date. Now let's turn back to Matt, Katie, and Al.
All right, Ann, thank you so much.
Mr. Roker, we've had some wild weather, warm here in the Northeast.
Right.
You say a lot of rain coming up from the
Yeah,
south?
southeast on into the northeast later today. Heavy rain at times, and we got some more heavy rain in the northwest as well. We'll take a look at that later. But you can see this rain sliding to the northeast, up into the Washington, D.C. area right now, and later on into the northeast. As we take a look at how much we're expecting, some areas are going to pick up more than 2 inches of rain, again, helping ease whatever drought is left on. Low pressure is going to be moving to the northeast, bringing a lot of that heavy rain and some strong winds later this evening. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
All right, thanks, Al. 56 degrees, cloudy sky right now. It is dry for the time being, but that is a temporary state. Doppler 4000 shows the leading edge of that rain that you were talking about getting closer now through central and southern New Jersey, sliding off to the north and east. It should be in here between about 9 and 11 this morning from southwest to northeast, and then it becomes heavy at times later today. Temperature-wise, we level off in the mid-50s, then start to drop back later today, tonight into the mid-40s with rain heavy at times. Rain the first half of the day tomorrow, then drier in the afternoon, 50. Partly sunny Thursday, 51. Low 50s for Friday, and cooler upper 40s by Saturday.
That's your latest weather. Now back to Matt.
All right, Al, thank you. On Close-Up this morning, Iraq. As we've reported today, Iraq's parliament recommended rejection of the UN's tough arms inspection resolution. On Monday, I sat down for an exclusive interview with UN Secretary General Kofi Annan and his wife, Nan, and started out by asking the Secretary General his reaction to the Security Council resolution.
I think it was quite remarkable that the resolution was passed unanimously. For me, that was very important, and right from the beginning I had indicated that the Council is at its most effective when he speaks with one voice. It has far greater impact when the international community comes together and says, Mr. Saddam Hussein, the government of Iraq, we demand that you disarm. We are sending in the inspectors, and we are going to be very firm with you. I was gratified that President Bush brought the issue to the Council, and I think the Council lived up to its responsibilities.
In many ways, Mr. Secretary General, we've been down this road before. Since 1991, there have been 14 Security Council resolutions calling for the disarmament of Iraq and for inspections in Iraq. And there are a lot of people think that Saddam Hussein will play a, if you will, cat and mouse game again. Why, in your opinion, won't he get away with that this time?
Well, first of all, let me say that the inspectors are going back to Iraq with a much strengthened mandate. Iraq has 30 days to declare what it has in the area of weapons of mass destruction.
They've said in the past they have nothing.
Well, now they have the declaration, and the inspectors are free to go anywhere, including the presidential size, without waiting for permission from the Iraqi government.
Do you think in your heart that Saddam Hussein is hiding weapons of mass destruction?
I really don't know. I can't go by my heart. The mandate we have is that the inspectors have to certify whether he has weapons of mass destruction or not.
You're a man of peace. You have been rewarded for being a man of peace. Do you see any circumstances under which you would not only accept waging war on Iraq, but endorse it?
The Council has done it before.
I mean you personally.
I did not oppose the use of force in 1991. I think it was legitimate, and there are moments when you have no other choice but to use force, but as a last resort. I think one has to use political and diplomatic means when that fails, and in certain situations, force may be necessary, and the Council has authorized use of force. I have not criticized it.
You've gone to Iraq in the past, 1998. We spoke just after you got back. If we come down to a crisis situation where several countries are saying now is the time we must use force, would you go to Iraq to try to convince Saddam Hussein to take another course?
I think I went to Iraq at a very critical time, at a time when we were about to go to war, because he was refusing to open his palaces. He did agree to open the palaces, but we ran into difficulties later. And now we are in a completely different ball game. I do not see any circumstances that will require that I go back to Iraq. I think what Saddam has to do is very clear. He has to perform, he has to cooperate with the inspectors, and I expect him to do that.
And coming up in our next half hour, I'll have more of our exclusive interview with Kofi Annan and hear from him and his wife about their new AIDS awareness campaign that's being launched today. It's 18 after the hour. Once again, here's Katie.
Matt, thank you. Britain's royal family is weathering yet another storm of bad publicity, and it's creating a real feeding frenzy. Diana's butler is now telling his story on this side of the Atlantic, and more stories are swirling around the palace. NBC's Keith Miller has more.
The butler may be in America, but the royal scandal he started still swirls here in Britain. At Buckingham Palace this morning, the royal family is expected to announce an unprecedented independent inquiry into allegations of homosexual rape among royal staff. Within days of being acquitted of stealing Princess Diana's belongings, the former butler, Paul Burrell, started talking.
I'm now here in America to tell my side of the story and the truth about the consequences of a case which never should have been brought in the first place.
Sex, rape, and theft, a royal story. It has Britain's tabloid press in a frenzy.
This story is set to run for a while. It's got legs, and it's got more legs than a centipede.
Paul Burrell served the royal family for 21 years. He insists he didn't sell his story for the money.
Before all this, we were a happy, normal family, just getting on with our lives. We've been to hell and back, and no one, even to this day, has said sorry.
Burrell is making money, an estimated $500,000 for selling his story to a British tabloid. And rival tabloids are on the attack, some accusing the royal family of a cover-up, others going after Burrell. The Sun newspaper splashing his alleged love life all across the front page. It appears even the Queen is struggling to keep her dignity.
She's suffering very badly at the moment from poor publicity. I've never seen the Queen subjected to such personal attacks as she's received in the British press in the last week.
The strain is beginning to show. The Queen, usually reserved in public, appears to be holding back the tears. For Today, Keith Miller, NBC News, London.
It's 7:20. We'll be back in a moment. This is Today on NBC.
On the next John Wall Show, how would you feel if you found out your children weren't really yours?
I cried till I couldn't cry any more tears.
For the first time in years, Morgan comes face to face with his ex-wife on the next John Wall Show.
Today at 11 a.m., only on NBC4.
One country that watches out for all of us, the Swiss. Yeah. I have only one question. How can you trust an army? How butch is an army that has a wine opener on its knife? Many of you men have never opened Chardonnay under fire. First of all, you take out the wine till you pull out the cork, smell it, say meat or fish, and throw. I don't know, but I've been told Chardonnay must be served cold. Yeah!
Join us, call 212-RECRUIT.
Sonicare presents a tip for whiter, healthier teeth today. After foods like red wine or coffee, brush right away to help prevent stains. And don't forget to use Sonicare. You'll get whiter, healthier teeth in 28 days guaranteed. Log on now to WNBC.com for your chance to win a new Sonicare and a trip to New York City to show off your new Sonicare smile outside Rockefeller Center during the live broadcast of The Today Show. And ask your dental professional about the Sonicare difference.
Janet Ivanovich, #1 New York Times best-selling author of Heartache, is shaking things up with her brand new Stephanie Plum holiday novel, Visions of Sugar Plums. Some presents can't wait for the holidays.
Was she assaulted
Said she was going to gut me like a fish.
and threatened by her own sister?
She was going to drown my child in my mom's pool.
Next, Judge Judy.
Something is definitely out of whack in this family.
Today at 4, only on NBC4.
Coming up, the antics of Robin Williams.
And the amazing disappearing Al, our own Al Roker, will weigh in about his substantial weight loss. How did he do it and why? After these messages, new local news.
The sofa. Perfect for the morning coffee. Reading the paper. And if you're lucky, making amends without saying a word. Stores, ideas, inspiration. Thomasville, where style lives. Stop by your nearest Thomasville store for the Discover Great Values sale and save on furniture for every room. Sale ends October 15th. Call 1-888-234-HOME for a store near you.
Didn't you say you were getting a cold?
Yes, but I used Zicam right away and got rid of it right away.
Zicam Cold Remedy is different. It gets rid of the cold, not just the symptoms. When you first feel a cold coming on, start using Zicam. It'll shorten the length and severity of your cold, so you can get over the cold 3 times faster and back on your way.
Colds? They're tough to avoid, but now I get rid of them 3 times faster.
Get Zicam Nasal Pump or new disposable swabs and get rid of your cold 3 times faster.
Wheels on the Bus. This irresistible sing-along is now an irresistible game. Wheels on the Bus, the memory-building game that gets families playing together.
All through the town.
Another classic nursery rhyme game from Milton Bradley.
Another holiday, Mom's sure to please with her little secret crescent made with ease.
Warm, delicious, flaky crescents make your holidays special.
Pillsbury, my heart to yours.
Platoon, Wall Street, Hot Shots. Somebody loves Charlie Sheen. Oh.
Can I run a check for these?
Can I see some ID?
I'm gonna have to call the bank.
Is this gonna take long? Yes.
How's it going?
This doesn't look like you.
It did when I came in here.
Next time, use the Visa check card instead of checks. It'll get you in, out, and on with life.
How's it going?
It sparkles like her, shines like her, even dazzles like her. Sounds like it's meant for her. Quarter-carat, 3-stone diamond pendants. Your choice, just $199. At Zales, the diamond store.
Now on Disney DVD and Video, bring home 2 holiday treasures. First, it's the movie critics call wonderfully enchanting that recaptures the magic and charm of the original.
What a beautiful day it is!
Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas. Then get ready for a new Pooh classic that's a fun-filled holiday adventure for the whole family.
Elfin, take a ring.
Making spirits bright. Disney's Winnie the Pooh, A Very Merry Pooh Year. Own them both on Disney DVD and Video today.
Merry Christmas.
Does a woman need her own oatmeal? Yeah. From Quaker, it's nutrition for women. An oatmeal with your needs in mind. Strengthened with iron, calcium, soy protein, and folic acid. Nutrition for women. Only from Quaker.
Moulin Rouge, Romeo and Juliet, and Strictly Ballroom. And now, some of the world's finest young singers in the greatest.
Reduce the risk of recurrent colon polyps. Don't wait. Take new Caltrate Colon Health.
Introducing Cause for Celebration, a food container that resists tomato stains. Get the revolutionary stain shield, only from Rubbermaid.
I just found out a cold sore is actually caused by a herpes virus. My doctor told me about powerful prescription medication to attack the virus. So as soon as I feel my cold sore coming on, I'm prepared.
Ask your doctor today.
A smile starts within.
Will he do something he likes?
Will she make the right choices?
What kind of person will he be?
Will she be happy
And healthy?
All parents have hopes and dreams for their kids. But one thing is certain about their future.
Who will she grow up to be?
It will be brighter if it is healthier. Talk to your kids about not smoking. They'll listen.
We're showing off the practicality of Scott tissue in a place where common sense reigns supreme.
In Scotland.
I like the name. Let her rip! Every roll has 1,000 sheets.
1,000 sheep? Not sheep. 1,000 sheets.
And it's soft as a lamb in April.
Here you are. Thank you. Look what she gave me.
It's too good for you.
It's mine.
Everyone here agrees. You should get it for your clan.
Scott tissue, common sense on a roll.
Was this kilt thing your idea?
I cherish these moments, sharing the traditions that were passed down to me. It's what I was put on this earth to do.
Ready Whip, let the fun out, also in chocolate.
The David's Bridal $99 sale is held over. Select gowns are $99, plus every other gown reduced $50 to $300. And take advantage of our special financing offer. Call for your appointment, 1-800-399-BRIDE.
CBS Friday, A Last Dying Wish. Sends this ex-cop on a journey through one man's life.
I gotta find out what his mistake was.
All new Hack. Then, Tom Sizemore is riveting in Robbery Homicide Division. Don't miss his can't-look-away performance.
Gotta tell us everything.
Robbery Homicide Division after Hack, Friday.
Flight 587 1 year later. Today on CBS 2 News. In a moving memorial, family members gather to pray and honor those lost.
And are they lucky horse bettors or clever crooks? The feds say it's one of the most amazing alleged crimes they've seen. I'm Tony Aiello. I'll have the story.
Plus, teenagers were allegedly caught drinking in her house. Now, one mom is being charged with not doing enough to stop it. Beginning on First News at 4:30.
Kohl's 17-hour sale is this Wednesday only with extended hours from 7 a.m. to midnight. Take an extra 10% off all fine jewelry, already 60% off. Enjoy 50% savings on outerwear for the family. Save 50% on all Little Tykes toys and on all St. Nicholas Square trimmetry. And save 50% on all holiday throws, pillows, and table linens. Plus, senior citizens take an extra 15% off your entire purchase. At Kohl's 17-hour sale this Wednesday only. Kohl's, that's more like it.
Held over another week at participating ShopRites, get triple coupon savings on manufacturer's coupons up to 50 cents off when you use your Price Plus card. Check your local ShopRite for details. Your Price Plus card can save you even more this week.
Watch Millionaire for your chance to win a vacation fit for a millionaire weekdays at 4 on CBS 2.